Hello and welcome to another episode of Benchwarmers Basement Banner. This is BBB Woody here, coming to you guys solo for a change. I'm going to try to give out a decent Cardinals episode here. It's a team near and dear to our heart. We're going through some tough times, but we're going to pitch you guys an idea to hopefully get us back to relevancy again. So, before I get started here, if you good people wouldn't mind, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are Benchwarmers Basement Banter, Sports Talk. We are on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, all that fun stuff. It's usually a stat guy's job, but it's up here somewhere if they can get that to work. So give us a like, all that, and we appreciate you all listening in. So without further ado, like I said, the Cardinals used to be a model organization of success on the field, off the field. We have fallen on tough times. Pretty obvious. Look at the standings. But I hope that the times might be changing. I know that sounds crazy because we are projected for our worst season in a long time right now, but I do think that new leadership was long overdue. It's early, but I like what Chain Bloom has started doing. So what I mean by that, there's one word to sum it up. It's called direction. We have seriously lacked direction under Mo for the last 3-4 years, and I will give him his due. Well, actually, since 2022, it's been a struggle. It was awesome bringing Pujols back, Molina, their send-off. Since then, not a lot great. I will say that we are not, as Cardinal fans, we are kind of spoiled. We have been. I don't mean to kick him when he's down here at the end. I appreciate all Mo did for us. That being said, I think it got stale, stagnant, him and DeWitt, what they were trying to do. Williams came in and stated the obvious that we are not going to compete. So we are trying to rebuild and get the most we can out of our depreciating assets, which is smart from a business standpoint. It is. And it is. I wish this process would have started, honestly, in 2024 when we kind of saw the writing on the wall with some of the veterans that were declining. And, a lot of these guys, for lack of a better term, you pissed away their value. A lot of these prospects have not been handled properly. It's been a hodgepodge, and you get to where you're at. But Bloom came in. He made the trade. Sonny Gray, Boston. Contreras, Boston. I heard the Arch might be going to Boston. Let's see what we can get back. So the returns for them may not be overwhelming what we did, but we shed salary, and he's targeting – we were lacking in arms in the system, and he's targeting high upside arms. And I like that. Like, we've needed bat misters for a long time. I think if anyone's watched Cardinal baseball, we're kind of over the days of Michaelis trotting out there. Guys like Eric Fetty, retreads, with all due respect, Lance Lynn. That's kind of the way we have filled out our rotation the last few years. So I like what he's trying to do there. And as you know, in baseball, you can never have enough arms. We were lacking in that, and he's addressed that area. So I like what he's doing there. Like I said, he's got direction. He's got a plan. I'm going to try on this episode to help out this process. Now, I'm not going to say any of these trades are going to get done. Okay, this is kind of a little bit of fantasy GM. I play fantasy baseball. Might see a little bit of that here. But I really looked at some roster, and I've made 3 trades here that I think are realistic. Like I said, I'm not saying they're going to get done, but I think they're realistic. I think they fit needs for the Cardinals and the teams we'll be dealing with. Should benefit both. And like I said, you'll see my goal here is to get the most out of the whole system, not just on the Major League roster, but to shape it in ways guys aren't going to be blocked by a log jam. Guys cannot have their development impeded and just can form a team. Because I'm going to tell you what, guys, we have to go about it getting the most out of what we have. We do not have the means to compete with the Dodgers spending, the Yankees, the Mets, all these teams that go after $300-400 million free agents. We're not going to do that. We can't do that. We've never done that. We have to go back to draft, develop, spend money smartly. Not this mid-tier throwing $80 million to Dexter Fowler, Mike Lee, guys like that. We've got to build the team and then supplement with veterans smartly. Maybe even be able to go after one big fish. I would like to see that down the road when we get to where we can compete and it makes sense. So I'll quit rambling here and go ahead and get started with my hypothetical trades or get you guys started laughing. We'll see how it goes. But trade number 1 here. I've got, and this I think might be the most realistic, but I've got Brendan Donovan, who has been rumored to go to everybody, maybe even a Japanese team this offseason. I'm not sure. Everybody and their dog. Brendan Donovan and Nathan Church, who's our 16th ranked prospect, another outfielder, had them going to Seattle for, this is the big fish I want to get. Lazaro Montes. He is Seattle's number 3 prospect, MLB's number 29, monster power. And also, I got a little greedy. Like, honestly, I'd give both these guys up for Montez. I'm a big fan of his. Have been for a few years watching him. There's a kid, Teddy McGraw, out there who's drafted a few years ago. He's had a lot of arm problems. He is their number 13th ranked prospect. Realistically, he's probably going to be out of the pin. Good fastball slider combo. I think he could be a pretty solid reliever. He is still starting now, but the injuries are piling up. We've seen that a lot. Why could this deal get done? Well, we're seeing, actually as recent as tonight, Bregman finally signed with the Cubs. The third base market might start to thin down. They have not brought Suarez back at the time of this recording. He would fit a need there or can play second. They lost Polanco. He is a very solid glove there. He could play corner outfield spot. Honestly, anywhere this guy plays, Brendan Donovan's, he's a gamer. Very solid defensively. You know what he can do with the bat. He's a solid bat. He's not going to hit 30 homers, but he is a professional hitter. Does not take an at-bat away. OBP well north of 350. He could hit a wide variety of places in the lineup. Could do both sides of the ball. Brings a very positive impact. He's under control for another 2 years, I believe. I mean, this guy, Seattle too. For me, there is a small window of teams that this makes sense getting a guy like Donovan. I don't view Donovan as like a cornerstone for your franchise. He is, in my mind, a piece that could get you over the top if you're a contender. They have a void right now, a third or second outfield. Like he would slide right in the lineup, probably the number 2 hitter. It makes a lot of sense for them. And for us, I love Donovan. I've been hyping him up right now. But his window for being relevant to a team, like the contract controlled, his most value is right now, and we are not to that point of contending. So I would rather kind of restart that competition clock with a guy like Montez, move him while Brendan Donovan's value is as high as it's ever been. I think cash out on it right now. Also, we have a surplus of guys that could play the positions he does. Logjam there. I think it makes all the sense in the world to move him. I love the guy. We'll miss him. It makes sense. What we're getting back, Montez, he could be a monster. There is a lot of swing and miss in his game, but we do not have anyone in my mind in our system that compares to the power he has. He could, if things work out right, be a solid cleanup man, 5-hole hitter. It's a big void we don't have. And also, he does have swing and miss, but I like his plate discipline. What I'm getting at, he walks. He will draw a walk. I think he's improved the last few years. There is risk to this, but I think the upside is well worth it. I love to roll the dice. Nathan Church, the other guy we'd be sending them, he is, in my mind, MLB ready, but he's probably his ceiling. Your third outfielder is a stretch. He's probably better suited as a fourth outfielder. He's coming off a great year in the minors. Hit well over 300. Very solid defensively. They are soft in the outfield, so I feel like a player of his caliber would fit in well with them because, like I said, they're right there on the cusp. They almost made the World Series last year. They're a game away. I think this trade actually makes sense for both. So give us Montes, take Donnie Boy. Good luck, guys. All right, this next one. Yes, I know. If you see the first guys on here, you're going to laugh at me saying you're not getting Jack for Arenado. Fair. There's more to this trade than that, okay? And what also helps this is that Bregman just signed with the Cubs, so I thought he would go back to Boston and this would be moot. But no, not the case. How does this happen? First of all, on the right-hand side, that is Kyson Witherspoon. That is their number 3 ranked prospect. MLB's number 88. I think he's going to rise quickly. This kid has awesome stuff. But for the Cardinals side, what we do to get this done, we give them Arenado, and we're going to have to eat a lot of the contract. Like he is, I believe it's $27 million owed this year. I think 22 by us, 5 by Colorado. 15, I think it is next year. We all owe that. We might have to pay half of that. Honestly, fine. Why would they do this? For one, get a discount on him monetary wise, but also I do think there's more left in the tank than he's shown the last 2 years. I really think, for one, that's a big upgrade in the ballpark. You get him there hitting doubles, we'll say, off the monster. I think it will suit well for his game. I think if he goes to a competitive atmosphere, you will see the best of him. Like, it's not an effort problem. The guy shows up, he's a professional, but there's just that extra element if you're competing for something. There is. And I could honestly see him getting back to maybe 20 homers. Like, he is no longer a 4-5 hitter in the lineup, but you slot him in an already good established lineup as your 6, your 7. I think he would be just fine. I really could see him bouncing back a bit. With the glove, he'd be an upgrade for them there. I'm telling you, he's still no slouch. Like, you see him make some plays that are just bonkers still. The barehander first, he has had a few more, I think, routine errors, which I'll tell you what, if you're in a pennant race, he's a human. There's a strong possibility you get the best out of him with a team like this. Also, Jojo Romero, I've got him going in the deal. That might be more value than Arenado. They could use another lefty. They've got Chapman, but they're kind of pigeonholed with him being their closer too. I think that looking at their roster, they could definitely use another lefty. He said he would fit very well with them. Now here's where it gets interesting. That's the major league pieces, okay? I already touched on Witherspoon, who I would love to get back. But these guys aren't going to touch him in my mind. We're going to have to get into our system, minor league system, which that is fine. We are actually loaded at catcher. We've got Jimmy Crooks, came up, cup of coffee. He's number 6, I believe. He's ready now. We have Leonardo Bernal, who I think finished the year at AA. He is our number 4 ranked prospect. MLB's number 91. And we also have a kid named Manuel Rodriguez, who's ranked above Bernal. He's number 3 for us, I think 55, somewhere in there for MLB. So we're loaded there. We at the major league level, we have Herrera, we have Pages. Like, that's one spot. In my mind, this is where you maximize your assets. I like Bernal. He is possibly the best defensive catcher of the group I mentioned. This would hurt to give him up. But I don't want to keep guys just squashing their potential, like not giving them a shot to play anywhere like we've been doing. Take from an area of strength, area of weakness. That's how I think you need to do this. You need to roll the dice some. If he turns out to be an all-star and Witherspoon flames out, there was logic behind this. I'm not going to fault him. But I think, and why would this work for Boston is because I actually think their system is very weak at catcher. I believe Connor Wong's their starter. Like, they do not have a standout there. It would be a definite area of need. He's not that far off. Like, this guy would make sense for them. Witherspoon, who I really want. I love this kid. Boston, I think, got a steal getting him in the first round at number 15. I don't know if they would part with him. If so, definitely beat the door down. I've seen rumors of Donovan being in a deal for Witherspoon, and that might be more realistic. But why do I want this kid so bad? He was a stud, Oklahoma. He was a 3-year college starter, 3 or 4 year, I believe. MLB's pipelines got him graded at a fastball. Get this, 65. That's very good. Curveball 60, slider 60, cutter 60. The changeup's just a 45, but it's developing. But that's okay. That's 4+ pitches. That's phenomenal. This isn't a guy. It's like, oh, will he start relief? No, I think he's got at least high number 2 upside. I'm not going to say ace. That's hard to project out, but he is a very, very solid arm. This would be a slam dunk for us if we could get him any way, shape, or form, I think, this offseason. And honestly, someone like Bernal, I think that would help get you there. Now, I want to get cute with it and, keep this trade going a little more in depth, do some more homework. Braden Davis is one of our top minor league pitchers. He's a shorter lefty. He's our number 24 ranked prospect. I just think this would help with depth for their system. And I think he's moving fast through the minors too. Another college arm. I think that would help entice them too. And there is kind of, I guess you'd say, a wild card. I'd like to get back from them. Indy Azokar, outfielder, number 26 in their system. This is a total lottery ticket. The kid, he's very raw. I believe he's just 18, maybe turned 19. But toolsy, very toolsy. And who doesn't want a toolsy outfielder? Like, look at Josh Baez in our system, what he's turning into. That, to me, would just kind of round this trade out because we could use more outfielders in our system. We're a little weaker on upside there. So Here we go. Now, my last trade. This also might bring some laughing when you see it, but give me a second. Okay, hold on. And I might be a little crazy on this one. Because you're going to look at Newt and it's like, yeah, he peaked back in Team Japan days. Fair. But I've got Newt Barr going to Kansas City, along with Tanner Franklin, who we just recently drafted. It's number 21 prospect. Profiles probably reliever. I've got them going to KC for Chris Bubick. And you might say that makes no sense. You're high, possibly. But why could this work? The Kansas City side, you're going to think that KC could get more for Bubick, and maybe they can. Why would they even do this? Why would we be interested? Because he has 1 year left, and we're not contending. Well, here's where I'm at. Bubick, love the arm. I do. Kansas City, let me start back here. Kansas City, why would they do it? Newt Barr, he is still a StatCast darling. He still, puts up solid numbers. It's almost like untapped potential is still there, even though he's been around so long. Injuries have kept him back a little. And it's just like something's missing. But there are still, in my opinion, he's still widely viewed as there's untapped potential in the league and would be a nice piece to have. He's under control. That's the big thing for longer than Bubick. 2 years, I believe, left his arbitration after this year. So Kansas City, they are extremely weak in the outfield. Very weak. Borderline not even starters across the board in the majors, with the exception of, oh my gosh, their young kid out of Florida. Help me out on that, YouTube. But he played first, Caglion. There we go. I think he's going to play outfield, so not counting him, but they are weak in the outfield. There's a need. There's control. Kansas City's always trying to save money, too. They're not a big market team. Newt could fill a need and be under control, which is big with them, for longer. Bubick, I feel like this is a guy that's, if not getting shopped now, will be getting shopped if they're not like World Series contention around midseason. Also, Bubick, in my mind, doesn't have a crazy higher amount of value because of all the injuries. He's had, I think, Tommy John twice, maybe. He all-star. First half, phenomenal. Barely pitched the second half because he had a shoulder issue. I think it was a torn labrum. So this is not a slam dunk. You get him like you're got an ace. When he's right, healthy, absolutely. He's made borderline ace. Is great, but you've not seen that much. You've not. I think he was one that went to drive line up the velo on the slider, and that's when he really took off when he came back from second Tommy John, I believe it was. But there's a lot of risk getting him. If he had pitched the whole year, oh yeah, you'd already seen him gone by now. I think they'd cashed out. Why can they cash out? Because they're pretty loaded at pitching. Like from Reagans to Waka, Lugo, like they're set. They could afford this. Like this to me is a good baseball trade, as in both teams' area of need, strength, swapping them. So it might seem crazy at first, but you dig into it when you add up, like I said, the baseball trade, the contracts, the way the Royals operate and stuff, it could work. It's not really RMO, so I don't see it happening. But if you were to do this, I think you extend him, gamble, sure, because you could extend him for less right now than you could if he goes bonkers. That's a no-brainer. Like you're going to have to gamble. We're going to have to take risk, but smart risk. And I think Bubick could be that. So, okay, after those three trades, I want to show you guys this. This is a hypothetical 2027 Cardinals roster. Now, a lot has to change or go right for this to be the roster then, okay? I'm going to start with the lineup. I've got Wynn leading it off. That's pretty solid. He's a stud offensively, defensively. You've seen him improve his game. I like that. Weatherholt, I'm going to tell you what, I really think this kid's the real deal. Yes, been burned a time or two or 20 on Cardinals prospects. But he came in as a pretty polished bat out of the University of West Virginia. He's blown through the minors. He's got such a solid hit tool, such a great eye. I'm not going to say can't miss because that doesn't exist apparently for prospects and our pedigree. But this guy, I believe in him. I really do. Now, he's not going to be a 30-homer masher. He's not, going to just set the world on fire there. But I'm talking about professional solid hitter like Brendan Donovan with, I think, more pop and speed. I really do. So put him at third, bring him up. That's his position. Let him go with it, which I'm going to touch on that right now. With a lot of these guys, you see their positions I've got on here. I picked what I thought was the most suitable spot for them. That's theirs. We don't keep swapping them around. We put them there. We go with it. My other thing is, with a lot of you're going to see Walker, Gorman, and be like, really, why we still have them in here in 2027? This next year, I don't think we're going to be good. We're not going to compete. I don't care. Let's send these kids out here every day. Let's not have them looking behind their shoulder like it has been. Let's not, have Walker have a 10-game slump to start the year and, all right, we're going to sit you 3-4 days. No, screw that. Put these kids in the lineup. See what you actually have in them, okay? Then you can evaluate going further forward. Like we have done everything imaginable to mess up Walker, Gorman, likes of those guys. Let's stop doing that, guys. Like Herrera with the catching. I think he's better suited for left field. Let's get him out there. He's athletic enough. Let's let him be comfortable, okay? This next year, that's what we're going to do. And we got a bunch of catchers. We touched on that. So that's why I've got these guys in here. Now I'm going to get back to that. Wynn, Weatherholt, Herrera, I love the bat. I spoke on it. I think left field's his home. Montez, I'm banking on that trade to Seattle. Bring the power in. He can play left. Probably will DH more. I think Herrera will be better in left. Like, we're not bringing Montez here for a Gold Glove. That's just the way I platoon those guys defensively. But I'm hoping, praying, if we get the trade, he could develop into a feared number 4 hitter. He's been comped to Jordan Alvarez light. I hate doing that to guys like that. Stretch, but okay, if he's 3/4 of that, that's a win. Yes, giving her one more year, Walker, hitting 5th. Don't mess with the kid. Let him do his thing. There is natural talent there. Let's see it play out. Burley, I feel pretty good about him. 6th. Gorman, yep, he's out there. Let's trot him out there all year. I put him at 2nd because I think we saw enough him at 3rd to realize the arm reflexes. I think we've seen enough. Really do. Made us appreciate Nolan Arenado there. Ronel Rodriguez at catcher. Might be a stretch that he'll be ready by then, but this kind of is another emphasis on the point at catcher. It could be Jimmy Crooks. We're going to have a catcher there hitting 8th that I will have faith in. Ronel Rodriguez, though, guys, I think is the real deal. I really do. We'll see. He's 18. Don't get too carried away. But last one I have is Victor Scott in center. I just kind of settled him there, see what he can do another year or two. Now you look at this, you're like, okay, idiot, very lefty heavy. I realize that. I don't care right now. This is just throwing the potential names out there and what they could do, kind of where they could hit in the lineup. That will work itself out in time. But that, to me, looks like a young lineup with a little bit of potential. I'd be intrigued. The rotation, this is where it gets a little messier, okay? We've got Chris Bubic and May. Both would have to be extended by 2027. Do I think they both would? No. That is very hypothetical if we even get Bubic. And May, I could see it either way. If you like what you're seeing out of him, you need a starter with experience. Maybe they extend him this year. If not, if things are going very well, someone comes calling, he would be a hell of a trade chip this season. So that's why I started them. Don't know, but someone of that potential we need to have, one or both. Okay, so the rest of this rotation, I mean, you talk about high upside and bat missing. I like it. I really do. With Libby still here's your 3. I spoke on Witherspoon enough. I love the kid's stuff. I think he'd be ready by then. I don't think he's going to take long in the minors. Down here at number 5, say Quinn Matthews. He had a down year last year. Looked great the year before. Very, very solid lefty. He's got, nice repertoire, many pitches. Doyle has higher upside, I think, but will he be a starter reliever? I love they're starting him out as a starter. I saw something the other day that said he has the most upside as a high-end closer in the minors. If that's what you get, like as a number, I think he's number 5 pick, I'd rather see him start. But you know what? I wouldn't complain if we get a stud closer out of him. But I'm throwing him up there as number 5, one of those 2 guys. Here's the cool thing. We've got a lot more intriguing options still to go, okay? And realistically, one of these guys will probably be in it. These just guys have a little lesser stuff. Mike McGreevy, he's going to get a run at it this year. Thrilled to see what he can do. I think he profiles in that 4-5 range, as does our other accusations in Hunter Dobbins and old Dickie Fitz Richard. I can't say I'm super excited to see what they've got, but I think they're solid options. Hell, we've watched Michaelis have home run derbies the last couple of years. Better than that. Fetty, same thing. So, you know what? At least this is younger guys, a little more fun. I think those are pretty solid. That's about 9 options there. There are 2 other kids in the minors I need to mention here. Cooper Jerpe and Tink Hintz. Both of them have kind of had their careers start to get derailed by injuries. Therefore, I do not have them starting. Another one's Brandon Clark, who we got in the Boston trade. He was the top prospect there. I want to see a little more. There's not enough experience with him for me to put him starting there. He's got great stuff, though. We'll see this next year where he develops for he's in the running here. But I'm saying worst case scenario is a bullpen arm. Jerpe and Hintz, though, those guys, I think they need to be in the pen. I really do. Love the upside. I'm not saying they can't start, but I do not think they're going to be durable enough to day in, day out take the ball every 5 days. I don't think so. I'd love to be wrong, but you know what? Like I said before, there's nothing wrong with them being dynamic out of the bullpen. And, I could see this shaping up where you kind of have a 6-man or maybe something funky like the Rays did with the opener, 3 innings, another guy comes in 3. I don't care how the 9 innings get covered as long as it's quality stuff. And they could get creative with these guys. Some other solid bullpen arms, like I like what you saw to Riley O'Brien. We just signed Ryan Stennick yesterday, I believe it was. I don't think I think he's going to be a guy that if he starts off good for the year, he's a trade deadline piece. He's 34, I believe it is, so I didn't pencil him in here. But, you've got McGraw from the deal with Seattle. All these other names I've mentioned, O'Brien's, Svensson look solid. You can see the makings of a very solid pen. A lot of strikeouts, at least. So I think the sum of parts here, pitching-wise, I actually feel pretty optimistic about it. And I'll tell you what, if you have a young, fun team, for one, I think fans will get more around it. That's kind of the St. Louis MO, is like the hustle, like hardworking team, young, fun. It's not the same boring veteran crap you've seen going out there that you don't know where their head's at on some things. And, at least there's the what could happen. So I don't know. I look at this and I like the unknown. If things start to go, in the right direction, I would love to see them open up their wallets more. Like, what? I don't think the DeWitts can bitch and complain about fans not coming when, for one, the quality on the field's not great, but also they've not shown the willingness to go out, spend the big money. I would love to think that if we were missing like a 3-4 hitter, a piece or 2 away, maybe on each side of the ball from contending, that there would be some money there to spend. I would like to think that. It's just right now I understand because we're not in that position where you can see a path to relevancy yet. So anyway, this is what I came up with. I would love, hey, comment. If you like it, you hate it, you think I'm an idiot or think I'm a genius, or if you want to give Bloom my number as a consultant, I am open for hiring. Sounds great. But either way, thank you for listening. And you know what this is about? This is fun. Will any of it happen? Don't know. Probably not. But hey, we're sitting here in the winter, missing baseball. Who doesn't want to do some fantasy GM? So here's my version, 2027 Cardinals. Thank you all for coming along this journey, and stay classy, America. Goodbye.